You're watching Go Island on Shaw TV Channel 4. I'm Kate Bergen. Did you make a New Year's resolution? How's that working for you? Did you know that 60% will not achieve the goals that they set out for themselves? We're going to try to help you meet your goals on this edition of Go. Today on Go Island, a Nanaimo connection to the Man in Black, martial arts, much more than personal defense, and a road trip to the BC Sports Hall of Fame. That and more today on Go. You're watching Go Island on Shaw TV Channel 4. Have you made a New Year's resolution? I have, except I started about 2 months ago to lose some weight and get into my skinny jeans. I'm finding mediocre success, I think. Dr. Derek Poteryko is a family physician here in Nanaimo, specializing in lifestyle behavior. Is that right?
Yeah, or lifestyle medicine.
Lifestyle medicine. And what is that?
Lifestyle medicine is basically the study of all the various aspects of living. Like I say, weight loss, quitting smoking, becoming happier. These are all, soft sort of signs that we strive for. So as a physician, we look at diet, exercise, stress management, and all those types of things that are probably the most important part of making a behavior change.
Why do people choose New Year's to make a New Year's resolution? I could eat healthier and go to the gym any day. It doesn't, well, why December 31st, January 1st?
Yeah, it's a really good question. I mean, the studies show that you're not any more successful at any time of the year, but I think that this time of year, the Christmas season, the end of a year of reflection, and a year of looking forward to the new year, it is a good time just to sort of, okay, I'm going to roll up my sleeves and start something new.
Okay, and it's a measuring stick.
Yeah.
You can look back a year from now and say, wow, I haven't had a cigarette, or I can fit into these pants, or
where have I come? Yeah, that's right.
How far you've come. Okay, we're going to talk about some specifics, because if you're trying to change something in your life, we're probably talking about habits. You can stop bad habits or create new ones. In the meantime, we're throwing things over to Todd Jones. Hockey is back. NHL has reached a tentative deal, but does anybody still care? You're watching Go Island on Shaw TV Channel 4. I was listening to CBC Radio this morning, and there were a lot of people saying that they've had enough with hockey. It's just left such a bad taste in their mouth that they are not going to sort of reinstate the level of fan that they had before. Dr. Derek Poteryko would like to check in with those people in a couple of months, because they might be falling back into what is a habit of watching hockey.
An old habit.
An old habit.
I'm a diehard hockey fan myself. But from a behavioral medicine perspective, it is a habit, and it'll be very interesting to see any of their behaviors, anybody that goes back to watching hockey in a month or two. Right now they say, hey, I'm quitting, but let's see the numbers in about a month or two's time.
Okay, and this leads us to the New Year's resolutions. And I'm wondering, is it harder to start a new habit or stop an old one? And then there's the big question, what is a habit?
Yeah, and that's the thing. In medicine, we don't like to use that term habit.
Okay.
Smoking being a good example, like it's not a habit, it's an addiction. And I guess we could sort of say that TV watching, professional sports watching is a soft addiction. Again, it really goes back to what really constitutes that type of diagnosis. But back to your question about habits, is that stopping smoking,
or
addiction,
watching hockey.
Stopping it, I think is a harder habit to sort of break than one that you want to improve or add on, like adding more physical exercise or adding more fruits and vegetables to your diet. There's something in behavioral psychology called loss aversion, and that basically means that we humans don't like to give up anything. And that's the big piece here, is that whether it's smoking or NHL hockey, you might find that more challenging to give it up for good.
Okay, I have another question, lots more questions. We're going to save them for later on in the show. I've read that 60% of people fail in their New Year's resolutions. We'll find out why and what you can do to increase your chances of success. I'm going to introduce you now to a man that I met recently in Nanaimo. Jonathan Holliff found a cache of cash in a storage locker in Nanaimo several years ago. He's made it into a documentary film that's finding success around the world. My Father and the Man in Black will show here in Nanaimo at the Port Theatre on March the 21st, and there will be a performance there by the Big River Band, a Johnny Cash tribute band that is doing very well on its tours. The film, My Father and the Man in Black, is also being featured in the Victoria Film Festival, which kicks off the first week of February. There's going to be a big exhibit at the Bay Center downtown, as well as the film in the gala events for the film festival. You're watching Go Island on Shaw TV Channel 4. I'm Kait Bergen. This is Dr. Derek Poteryko. We're talking about success with your New Year's resolution today. 60% of people fail. And now you might want to clarify the word fail.
Clarifying, catching on that term, Kate, yeah, just to let people know with regards to behavior change, we never say fail. It just sounds so absolute.
Right.
We call it feedback. Feedback, not failure. And that's a really good way to reframe any behavior change, whether it's losing weight, stopping smoking, doing all those other things that we are more healthy for. So again, the feedback piece gives you a little bit more kindness to the behavior, because I mean, you thought about, hey, I want to lose weight. Yeah. What a great idea. Now, if you fail at it, you sort of are a little bit too hard, and therefore getting back on the bike can be very challenging. If you get feedback, say, okay, what did I do differently? There's another psychological term called what the hell effect. Hopefully I can say that on camera.
Sure.
And that's the thing, is what happens, your diet, you have that one slip, and then you go, well, what the hell? I've ruined my diet, I might as well just give up. And that's the piece, that's the quintessential point where you want to actually say, okay, what did I do differently, or what happened? Let's get back on the bike and start the good behavior again.
And just expanding on the feedback a little bit, because I love feedback in our line of work. It's crucial to what we do, and it's a learning opportunity. You don't quit. You do something different. Jocelyn, don't hit the wall next time we're in the doctor's office. She's behind the camera today. So feedback. I had a cigarette when I'm supposed to be quitting, for example. I learned what the trigger was, and then address that.
Totally. So in our smoking cessation clinic, we say the best quitters never give up.
Right.
Think about that.
Yes.
And that's the thing. You sort of learn from when you fall off the bike. And that's the big take-home message here. And again, not over a day. Like if you decide January the 1st is your big day, good for you. But if come January the 7th, you're going, oh, geez, I'm not hitting my marks. I'm not eating well. I'm not getting to the gym. Not to say, oh, geez, I'm just going to give up altogether. Think about the year. Don't think about, like I say, the day or the week. Go, okay, for the month of January, I'm going to go to the gym 10 times. For the month of February, I'm going to go to the gym 12 times. You get what I'm saying? You just build on it.
And that's another, we were talking earlier about the timing of New Year's. It's a great measuring stick, and if you look at it as a year to improve yourself and not just one cold turkey, cold start day. We're going to be back with more from Dr. Derek Poteryko's office on this edition of Go Island after a short break. Still ahead today on Go Island, martial arts are much more than self-defense, and a road trip to the BC Sports Hall of Fame, and an announcement from Paralympian Michelle Stilwell. Still ahead today on Go. You're watching Go Island on Shaw TV Channel 4. You're a week or so into your New Year's resolutions. The typical ones, of course, quit smoking and exercise more. I saw a study recently that showed that getting along better with your mother-in-law made it onto that list of top resolutions as well. Dr. Derek Poteryko is a family physician here in Nanaimo, specializing in lifestyle medicine. Breaking addictions, forming new healthy activities are all about lifestyle. Success is key, small steps, and just celebrating the little things instead of being hard on yourself. Is that?
Yeah, we're getting in the lingo really well.
Yeah,
Kate.
okay.
So the biggest thing is rewards. I mean, if you do make a goal of, say, 5 times of going to the gym in a week, make sure that you do something positive and healthy for yourself. So again, rewarding for small goals, not the big overall goal.
What would be a reward?
A reward?
Not eating the chocolate bar.
I said depending on different strokes for different folks. Hey, you take a day off from the gym, or I mean, you can build it into your healthy behaviors, or something goofy in terms of getting a movie or going to the bookstore if you're into that kind of stuff. That's the truth. You don't want to reward with a unhealthy snack, but then again, I mean, you balance it. I mean, we talk about this in our weight change clinic in terms of, hey, healthy eating is very important, but unhealthy eating, or the foods that we know that are unhealthy for us, we say, hey, it's still okay to eat those foods. They're not forbidden foods, but it's all about the quantity. So we will talk about 3 or 4 bites of a unhealthy sweet snack. So again, that is a reward. If that's what turns your crank, then therefore do that. Back to the shaping piece, going to the gym can be a very challenging thing. What you can do is make these little sort of negotiations in a stepwise fashion. In other words, going out and saying, okay, I'm not going to the gym just yet, but I'm going to put my gym clothing on. And it's funny how clothing makes us feel different. You can even get yourself with a negotiation, say, you know what, I'm going to go down to the gym, but I'm only going to work out for 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, I'll decide then. It's those little steps that actually make the motivation. We think that motivation is supposed to come down from above and, okay, I'm motivated, I'm ready to go. It takes a little bit more, but the psychology behind it is not as hard to begin with.
And success can become a motivator too. I did that. Well, now the next step isn't so intimidating or so hard, and then you become a bit addicted to that success.
Exactly. We are an accomplishing, addicted creature. So in other words, when we do stuff and we're successful at it, it builds on to further successes.
Okay, we're going to come back, and if we've got time, I'd like to find out from Dr. Derek Poteryko, why is it so hard to do things that we know are good for ourselves? Up next is Terry Church. The martial arts are a great way, of course, of self-protection, self-defense. They're also a good form of exercise, and they're a great confidence booster, and they do wonders for people with disabilities. I'm going to find out myself because I'm going to be hitting the mat at Nanaimo Athletic Club with a black belt Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu master in a couple of days. If I survive, I'll see you back next week. In the meantime, here's Terry Church. You're watching Go Island on Shaw TV Channel 4. I'm Kate Bergen. We're here in the offices of Dr. Derek Poteryko, a family physician in Nanaimo. We're talking New Year's resolutions, quitting smoking, weight loss, getting along better with your mother-in-law. They're all small parts of a big picture, really. It's kind of the same thing. It's something to do with our mental control.
Well put. I mean, I think the best way, as we do in our classes, we talk about the 2 sides of our brain. We have the animalistic, I want it now side of the brain, and then the thinking side of the brain, which is a little bit more rational and more logical and thinks of future consequences. So it's always that battle between the two. And we do techniques in the clinic around something called cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, to help you think better and behave better.
Okay, for people who want to look into that a bit further, your website is?
CISIC.ca.
And they can email you and all that kind of stuff from there. Yes. And we're going to see Derek in a few months from now because there's a book coming out. What's your new book all about?
Well, it's all the same type of stuff, and it's just not a book about weight change. I think it's a book about happiness as well, and it's called Eat, Think, Live.
Okay. Well, I've gone over time because this is fascinating, and I always go over time. It's what I do. We're going to throw things over now to Dunya Tozy. She's on a road trip to the BC Sports Hall of Fame. You're watching Go Island on Shaw TV. And speaking about sports, we're used to seeing world champion Paralympic athlete and Parksville resident Michelle Stilwell in a sporting environment. She's now setting her sights on retiring MLA Ron Cantillon's Liberal seat. This is Michelle dropping the puck at the opening of the hockey junket tournament at Oceanside Place on Tuesday morning. She has been officially acclaimed by the Liberal Party, and so far her only opponent is NDP Barry Avis. The 40th BC general election is set for May 13th of this year, and that brings us to the end of this edition of Go Island. Good luck with your resolutions. Reach out, get help, get support. I'm asking you to keep me accountable too. I still got to get into those skinny jeans. We'll see you next time.